I did analyze the South Korean national team a few months ago. I would say then without the ball, maybe we have a different kind of issue. Yeah, it's terrible. Put a good piece, look at the place we go. If it's a good piece, we're gonna win. If there is a possibility of working South Korea football, I will embrace it with any doubt. Yeah, it's always important because it did happen to me when I went to France. I was 20 years old, I was alone, no French, living in a place that you don't know with different mentalities. In Uruguay, we were training in my team and staying for a while. In France, they were coming in the morning, training, going home. And me going home meant nothing, I got nothing to do. We're talking about a time that it was no internet, it was no phones, it was no, so, for me, the team was my life. So I always pay attention to the person, I said to you, to the people, especially the foreigners. With Ki and G, it was different. G was with me very little, 2 or 3 months, okay? And then he left to Germany. But with Ki, the relation was exceptional. It was top. It was top. Unique player, very specific player, and an incredible, outstanding ability to play football and to understand the game. And then it was interesting because he really wanted to play number 6 in front of the back 4, okay? There. That was his positioning all his life. But in my football, that player got many responsibilities. Not only with the ball, also without the ball. And Ki was a player that most of his game was with the ball. So I tried to play a little bit higher, number 8, number 10. And in the beginning, he was a little bit like, I'm a number 6. But then he played one game higher. It was outstanding. And then he was like, okay, I like it. I don't want to play 6 anymore. So it was an instant connection because of the way that I understand football and the way that Ki understands football, which is pretty similar. Okay, little details. And when you have that understanding, I think it's easier. So we kept in touch. I tried to buy him because he was on loan. The price was 10 million. We couldn't pay it, and okay. But the experience was always that connection through football. I was lucky to meet his girlfriend at that time, his wife now, and it was at the shop of Sunderland. He was buying something. I was just taking some people over there, and that as well helps, because then you start asking at least. Are you okay? Are you happy? Are you, is any problems? Is any issues? And I think when you have that kind of relationship outside the training pitch, it helps for the future. Like now, I've been in Korea a few days ago, and obviously I met with Ki and we went dinner and we talk about, things that we live together in Sunderland, but also about life now. So it's always good. But I would say if you put 49 of the 50, if they have some problems at home, it will affect their work, for sure. Maybe there is one who is outstanding on switching off, separating, but that they are exceptions, okay? Because it did happen to me. I said to you, I went to France when I was 20. I was alone, not speaking the language, nothing to do, feeling like I had too much time off for nothing, and I didn't play well. Is that a coincidence or a consequence? I think it's a consequence. I was not happy as a person to be able to go and train and feel great. Helped me to, everything that came after, it was easier because I knew already. I went past a really bad time over there. So that, as a coach, made me always try to find out. When somebody is not, because remember that you see the players every day. So one day you come in and you're happy and you say, hello, coach. Then he say, hello, coach. And then one day you come in and you say, hello. And as soon as you say, something is not right, that doesn't mean that you're going to talk to him there. But during the training, after training, or the next day, maybe you put him aside and say, everything's okay. And you try to find out why he was unhappy, And most of the time is because you have a problem. And you came in the car, thinking, and you get there and you go, hello, and it's like you are not there because you're still thinking about the problem. Listen, we all have problems. It could be a little one, it could be a big one, it could be a sentimental one, or it could be a family issue, or a friend, or the house, or the dog. But all affect people in a different way. And that kind of finding out and helping, if you can, I think is always welcome from the player. Because then when they come back, they say, okay, I'm ready to play, I'm happy now. Again, sorry to repeat, with G is just because he didn't have time. We key, under my understanding, to play him in a position where it was easier for him to do what he does best, which is getting the ball and making the team play. Sometimes you can put it a little bit deeper, but because of the responsibilities, for me, I thought if I liberate, free from key the defensive the responsibilities in a certain way, he will, be in a position to express himself better and not be thinking, okay, I need to do this, but I need to go there, I need to do that, I need to mark him. So you liberate them a little bit and give him the freedom to play, because when Key plays, the team plays. It's coming together. If Key is on the ball most of the time, the team is playing. If he's thinking about other things and he's not expressing what he does best, then it's not the same. So I think that was my idea of trying to play him a little bit higher. We all football players play because of different reasons, okay? Somebody is very quick, it's, fast, okay? Maybe it's not that intelligent, or maybe it's not understand the game great, or maybe it's not aware defensively, but it's quick, and he can give you something. So you need to use him in that, okay? Maybe another one, me, for example, I was very slow, okay? Probably one of the slowest players in the Premiership, history. But I was ahead of the game, mentally. I knew maybe what it will happen before you. So I was able to anticipate, okay? So I don't have the speed that he has, but I got an understanding. Now, he understands the game in an incredible manner. He understands the game. What you need, if you need to drop and get the ball and start playing from the back, if you need to go higher, if you need to go left, when to pass one way, when to dribble, when to take it, when to play one touch. So when you understand that game at that level, and he can use that skill, the team plays, for sure. Well, I think it's a representation of the country, because I did analyze the South Korean national team a few months ago, and I think with the ball, I think that I would say 99% of Korean players, they know what to do with the ball, and they know that they can play, and they know that they are technically gifted, and they know that they can enjoy with the ball. I would say then without the ball, maybe we have a different kind of issue without the ball, okay, but that's me, okay? But that represents the characteristics of South Korean football, for the last maybe 15, 20 years, they've been playing in a certain way, and they've been looking at the players to be very, very good on the ball. And when you put too much emphasis in one side, too much means most, it's natural that the other side of the game, you leave it a little bit aside, But that is a consequence, not only the characteristics of the South Korean people, but also the football nowadays. Guardiola is a genius, okay? For me, he's a genius. But he destroyed football, because everybody wants to be Guardiola. And it's not possible. And I will tell you why it's not possible. Because Guardiola coached in his career 3 teams. Barcelona, at the time the best team in the world, okay? Bayern Munich, one of the best teams in the world, and Man City, one of the best teams in the world. Now, the rest of the coaching family, we didn't have the chance to coach those teams. We coach different players at different levels. And we cannot play that way. And people think that yes, it's possible. So they focus only on the ball, tiki-taka. And then they lose the ball at the back, and they concede goals, and then they are not organized, and then they don't mark, and then they don't defend, and then they don't make a foul, and then they don't have the personality or the aggression. And it's possible as well. It's part of football. So depending on your ability and what you believe and the level that you coach, you need to implement other things. For example, the defensive desire. You know, sometimes when you see a team defending, you say, okay, they can defend well or bad, but they want to defend. You can see everybody's running back, everybody's put. And then you see other teams and you're thinking, there is only 3 or 4. The rest, they stay up. So to create that mentality, you need to work and you need to convince, because football changed. Like I said, maybe in the 80s, 90s, it was all about tackling and killing people. Now it's all about tiki-taka.
Thank you.
I think it's simple. I think you have an outstanding national team, and it was a great opportunity to manage a team that they can win things, you know, like the Asian Cup and participate at the World Cup in a very good manner. So when you have that feeling, and there is also like an interest from the other side, because remember that I want to manage Real Madrid, but then Real Madrid doesn't call me, I'm not going to manage it. So it's depending, both ways. So when I tried to get in contact with the federation and they show a little bit of interest, I mean, it was a great feeling. You know, I went into details, I analyzed the team so much, and I analyzed the under 23 as well, you know, to see what is coming, and I was really into that situation. So it was a possibility of being in a top national team. I always try to connect teams below me the most that the clubs they allow me, because certain people say no. So for example, at Brighton, I had an extraordinary relation with my second team. They were playing pretty similar to us. When I started in Sunderland, it was getting close. Then in Nike, it was not second team. So I always try that, because they are the future. We don't realize, but in certain things, for example, the Asian Cup last Asian Cup, South Korea, average age of the players that they played, it was 29 years old. That's high, okay? It's very high. Which means that in 4 years, maybe those players, they're gone. So what is coming? Who is the replacement? Who is going to play, Because, okay, you can maintain certain players which are special, that they can perform at the highest level at 35, 36, but not 11, because you're going to lose other things, which is intensity, stamina, blah, blah, blah. So, and I check also in terms of looking for certain positions that I'm not going to tell you, because I was thinking that it was a possibility of bringing certain players in certain positions to help, not straight away to play, but to start make them understand what I wanted. Well, it's very good to ask me that, because if I was in a club working now every day, pre-season, I think you can start using the characteristics of the players to take advantage. Okay, I'm not saying that I will put a fullback in the middle or no, I don't know, but you can use certain movements or certain positionings to take advantage, because you're working every day. And the national team is very difficult. National team, the players they play in Europe, for example, South Korea on Sunday, they need to travel to South Korea. They arrive Monday night or Tuesday morning. They train 2 days. If you have to travel, forget it, okay? Because on top of that, they're traveling in Asia, they're long distances, so you don't have time. So for me, a national team is very important to simplify, make it simple, and do the basics well. And as a coach in the national team, you got the chance to pick the players that you believe is going to be easier for them to do those basics. And not to bring a player and start coaching the player, okay, now you're going to go in midfield, you're going to get back, no, because you don't have time, okay? It's true about the fullbacks, because I was surprised that in a national team of the level of South Korea, you play the Asian Cup and the first games in March, the friendly games, without a left back, left-footed. And I want to explain why. When in front of you plays Sun, and everybody knows that Sunny will go inside, because that's what he does very well. You need a player to go around him, left-footed. That's something common sense in football. You don't want a left back, right-footed, that goes around Sunny, and when they pass the ball to him, he needs to come back to his right foot. That's why I went down to the second team to see the left back. And I tried to check on teams locally if they had a left back who had the experience and the quality left-footed to play for the national team. And I repeat, that doesn't mean that you bring him and you play him straight away, but you bring him, you start working in the relationship with Sonny to start getting the understanding. The more you play together, the more you train together, the better. But you need to use that, because if not, the opposite, you know what they do? They know that South Korea wants to play with Sonny. So they compensate themselves and they try to block him. And if you don't have a player going around, it's very easy to keep it. I'm not talking about every game, I'm talking about the highest level. You know, when you go to the World Cup, it's very easy for the opposite team to go maybe 2 players and making Sonny attack 2. If you don't have the help, take a player away or to take advantage of that, then you have a problem. So yes, there is that situation. But I think the players, when you explain the basics and the responsibilities, they like it. At that level, they are capable of doing it most of the time. Yeah, we are all different, the coaches. You know, we are all different. But I think that for that you need to know the players. It's very difficult for me to say from outside what I would change or not, and it's not respect to the coaches now. But I think me, I have an idea after analyzing the team and all my notes and all my plans. But then those ideas, when you go into the training and you start meeting the players, and when you do the first training session, and you see who can get that message quick and which players that they don't, and it takes time, then you can start talking about implementations and different things. But until then, it's all chitty chat, you know, we say, oh yes, because I'm gonna play from the back and blah, blah, blah. People want to hear that. I'm not that type of person. I'm more like, let me get there, let me see, let me try, and then I tell you, okay, yeah, we're doing this because of this, or we are not doing this because the characteristics of the players doesn't allow you. So there is certain things, but for example, it was needed in the near future. I've already done it a little bit now in the last couple of games. You know, have the next 2 central defenders, like main players that they play all the time because of the age. The number 6, which as well is being so many changes. And I think that the biggest issue for me at the national team of South Korea, it was always to have that player up front that is the number 9 of the national team. I think it's been too many players taking that role, and at the end it's not one that, when you think about England, Harry Kane, when you think about Uruguay, Luis Suarez, when you think about Argentina now, okay, it's Julian Alvarez, if it's not Messi. And I think when you recognize that player, it means that that is a top scorer and that player is going to help you win football games. And I think South Korea in the last 2 years, they've been putting one and another. Even Sonny played there because it's like you cannot find that player. And I think that's a great opportunity. You as a football player, Korean football player, number 9, to have that chance of going and saying, I'm going to be that one. That number 9 is going to be my shirt, you know, like, because they had chances. Eh? You know, in football, we ask the players, give me a chance. Then it's up to me. And they had so many. One, the other one, the second one, the third one, the fourth one. And it's like, yes, but there is always a but. And I think that's very, very important, because remember that most of the time, that's the one who makes the difference. Okay, you will say Sonny, Lee, blah, blah. It's the most important position in football. I always say to my chairman, if I got a good goalkeeper and a good number 9, half of the job, 50%, is done. Because the goalkeeper will save it and the number 9 will score. The rest is up to me. But if you don't give me number 9, who's going to score? Okay? It will influence because of the characteristics of the players. We talked before, South Korean players, they are very good technically. And the better the pitch, the better they're going to perform, the better they're going to pass, the better they're going to dribble, the better they're going to feel. It happened to me when I went to Uruguay. In Uruguay, we didn't have very good pitches. I was not playing, but the players that were playing, they were outstanding. So I remember saying to the president of the federation, the pitch, please, the pitch. And say, is that bad? Yeah, it's terrible. Put a good pitch. Look at the place we go. If it's a good pitch, we're going to win. If we make it 50-50, the pitch helps the smaller team. If you had a bad pitch, the small team got a better chance. So if you are one of the the most important national teams in Asia or in the world, the better the pitch, the better the result. Can you lose? Of course you can lose. But I'm telling you, with the characteristics of the South Korean players, the better the pitch, the better for them. No, I think my relationship with Korea will continue because that doesn't mean I will be working in there, but it was important for me to have this first contact, to get back in contact closer with Key, and to travel over to see the place. If you ask me, would you like to work in Korea in a club? I would say to you, yes, because I've been there, okay? Listen, I'm honest. If it was no, I would tell you, maybe it's not for me, like I said to you, my characteristics, my energy, maybe, everything I seen there, the time that I spent in Seoul, everything I spoke with Ki, everything he told me, and I know is true because he's very honest and we know each other, make me think that if in the near future there is a possibility of working South Korea football, I will embrace it with any doubt. No, me, personal goals, it will be managing at the highest that I can manage. When I was a football player, I thought, okay, can I play in the two biggest teams in Uruguay? Okay, no, I left before going there. Or can I play in the national team? Okay, yes. Can I play for Real Madrid? No. Okay, which is below Real Madrid? The highest you can. I play for Chelsea, so I'm happy. Now, as a coach, it's the same. Can you manage the highest you can manage? I'll make an example. Can I manage my national team? Now, what I say is, I respect the coach and I want him to stay and win everything. Now, in the future, I hope. But for that, I need to prepare myself. You need to prepare. Get to a position where if you have that chance, you are in your best moment, which is what I'm doing.